Hello. Sorry, I spaced out for a minute there. It is I, once again, Jordan, aka Defcos, One Piece fanboy extraordinaire, here again today for a reread review of One Piece Volume 25. I just received this volume yesterday. I was gonna do a video yesterday, but I went to the movies. I saw Doctor Strange, which was nice. It was a good movie. I liked it. And and then by the time I got home, I was kind of tired, and I didn't feel like reading the volume and doing a video. So I thought I would wait till Sunday, but I actually woke up early today. Today's Thursday, so I thought I would do a video right before work because I have a little bit of time to do that. So I thought I would just go ahead and, take care of it right now. And then hopefully I'll be able to do another reread on Sunday. And oh yeah, and the new chapter's dropping today, I'm pretty sure. So I'll be doing another video later today. So that's how that's gonna go. But anyway, let's get right into it. I don't want to waste too much time because I am kind of I don't have a ton of time before I have to leave for work. So let's get right into it. I'll read the foreword as usual. It says, the cover illustration for chapter 233 is framed in black in memory of my fellow manga artist, Gin Shinga. Someone once said that manga artists live on in their characters after they die. We are blessed to be in this profession. So I actually don't know who Gin Shinga is. I don't remember ever seeing that name before. I don't know what manga he drew, but I imagine he must be a pretty famous manga artist. I don't know. I've never heard of him before, but I guess he died in 2002. Yeah. Okay. So let's go on. All right, so we pick up where we left off. The Straw Hats are on their way to meet Mont Blanc Cricket to see if they can find out more about how to get to Skypiea. Right off the bat here, we get another reference to how the Mary is falling apart and how they need a new ship. They're fixing the Mary, and because the Shoujo, the one of the monkey guys, he wrecked the ship with his voice powers, and so yeah, so they're fixing the ship, and then Zoro says, "Yeah, the ship's in really bad shape. Maybe we should get a new one." And then Usopp's like, "How can you say that?" So we're already getting foreshadowing to the Water 7 arc. Again, he's done it a few times now. So yeah, so you really had that in mind already. Okay, so they get to Mont Blanc Cricket's house, and it looks like a castle, but it's actually just a piece of plywood that's in front of a smaller house. You can see it on those 2 pages. um, So yeah, so they look for Mont Blanc Cricket. Oh yeah, and then here we get Sanji, who talks about they find a storybook. Nami finds a book of Mont Blanc Nolan the liar, who we get to see later in a flashback during the Skypiea arc. Um, but yeah. So she finds the storybook, and then she says, "Oh yeah, it was published in the North." And then Sanji says, "Oh yeah, I read that when I was a kid." And then they say, "Oh, wait a minute, you're from the North? We thought you were from the East." And he's like, "No, I'm from the North." So this is another foreshadow to the I guess the Totland arc and all that business with Sanji when he goes back to the Germa. Uh, so yeah, or like he goes to Totland to marry Pudding. Um, so yeah, so this is a reference to that, which is this was so long before that. Like holy shit, like I can't believe how like I keep bringing this up because it's just such a common like. Oops, my alarm's going off. It's just something that occurs repeatedly in One Piece where Oda will reference something decades before he like addresses it again, and it's just mind blowing that he can be that patient and be like, oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna draw that like in 10 years or whatever. Like it's just fascinating. Like it's one of the things that I love so much about One Piece. How planned out the story is. I mean, there are instances where it seems like maybe he wings it a little bit, but for the most part, it seems like he already like at the very beginning he planned out like all the major arcs. Like he pretty much knows all the major arcs from the beginning to the end and how that's gonna go. I guess sometimes he ends up fleshing the arcs out like while he's doing them and like fine tuning it. Um, but yeah, but he definitely already knows that he's gonna like address Sanji being from the north at this point in 2002. So that's nuts. So yeah, so we get the a few pages of the storybook of Nolan, the Nolan story. Um, then we cut back to Bellamy, who says that he wants to go see Cricket. And then we cut back to the Straw Hats, and we get Cricket's first appearance. He shows up, and then he has a fight with Sanji, and this fight is fucking awesome. Like it's short, but I love the this fight. Like the Sanji versus Cricket is awesome. This page here, just the dynamic poses, the you can feel the movement. That's something that I always loved about manga, which doesn't like when you compare manga to like American comics or like even European comics, unless it's like a manga inspired American comic, uh, you don't really get that same sense of movement. Like it's a drawing, but it looks like they're moving. Like the way it's drawn, it just feels like they're in motion. Um, and I feel like in American comics, it's more like just like freeze frames. Like each panel is a freeze frame. Not all the time. I guess I shouldn't say that. But in manga, the speed lines and the way it's inked, like the Hasanji's his clothes here are hatched in the direction that he's because he's ducking right here, so it just looks like he's ducking. Like it's I just love that about manga art and Oda's art too. So yeah, so Cricket collapses, and then Chopper says it's because he has a condition called the bends because he dives all the time. He does deep sea diving without any kind of like apparatus or like diving gear. He just dives. So that like affects his body. Like it if you get out of water, and this is a real condition, like if you get out of water too fast, if you're a diver, it can like fuck you up. So that's what happened to Cricket. Then Masira and Shoujo arrive because they're like Cricket's like his I guess his crewmates kinda. I guess they're not technically crewmates, but they're like his good friends. Um, so they're like, oh, what are you guys doing with Cricket? And they're like, yeah, we're taking care of him. They're like, oh, okay, that's good. Um, so then Cricket starts to explain his story, how he's a descendant of Nolan, and and how he dives every day. He's been diving for like 10 years every day to find gold, um, because Nolan's whole story was that he claimed there was a city of gold on Jaya, and when they got there, when like the king that he told that to got there, there was no city of gold, so they killed him. So Mont Blanc actually doesn't believe that Nolan was lying. So he dies every day because Nolan said, "Oh yeah, like the city must have sunk to the sea. It must have sunk to the bottom of the sea. Like that must be why it's gone." So so Nolan dives every day to look for gold. And he's only found a few pieces of gold, but yeah, that's how he rolls. I was actually a little confused because he says, "Oh, uh, Cricket says when Usopp says, "Oh, so you dive to find the gold," and he said at first he says no, but then he goes on to explain his whole situation, how he used to be a pirate, and then his pirate crew left him because that's he wanted to look for the gold. So that confused me a little bit because at first he says no, but then it turns out that actually that is what he's doing. But anyway, they decide to Cricket and Masira and Shoujo decide to help the Straw Hats get to the Sky Island because they know of I think it's called the Emperor Cloud, where it's like a hard cloud, like it's a solid cloud, and that's what caused the night in the previous volume when it was the middle of the day and just became night out of nowhere. Um, that was because of the Emperor Cloud, because it moves over the sun and it blocks it, and it just makes it look like it's nighttime. And it's like a more solid. It's made out of a more dense. I want to say material, but I don't know if it's really a material. Um, but it's made out of more dense water condensation, I guess. So yeah, so I guess you could technically like walk on it, which is I'm pretty sure what happens later when they go to Skypiea. Um, but he explains about the knock-up stream and how they need to get to the knock-up stream in order to like go beyond the Emperor Cloud in order to get to the Sky Island. And it's like a really dangerous thing to do. But they say they're gonna fix up the Mary in order to like reinforce it because the Mary is falling apart. Like even at this point, the Mary is already pretty damaged, um, and so they're like, yeah, the Mary wouldn't be able to survive like um, uh, the knock-up stream. So they need to like reinforce it. Uh, so that's what they decide to do. Um, but yeah, then there's this part where Usopp calls Cricket a liar, um, and then Cricket calls him his comrade. He calls them all his comrades, and then Usopp feels bad. And then they start partying because they're happy that they're gonna go to the Sky Island and whatnot. They're happy that they have a plan. And then Bellamy's on his way. Bellamy is on his way to get the gold from Cricket. And then Cricket shows them their ingots. I think that's how you pronounce it. Ingots. They're like little relics of gold that they have. They have a bird and they have like a little bell. and that's all that Mont Blanc found. That's all that Mont Blanc cricket found over the 10 years that he's been diving. Uh, and then oh yeah, and then cricket when he busts out the bird statue, he says, "Oh shit, you guys need to get that bird because you're in the middle of the Grand Line, like the log post is pointing up. Uh, you don't have a compass. You don't have a way to navigate to the knock-up stream. Like if you start sailing, you're not going to be able to find it if you don't have like a set way to get there. So you need to find the bird because the bird is the kind of bird where their head is always pointing south, and they need to go south to get to the knock-up stream. So they're like, so Cricket says, "Oh, you guys need to go find that bird, so that you can have a compass, pretty much, to get to the knockup stream." And this is like last moment, like he forgot apparently, and then just remembered that they need to get it. So it's the middle of the night. They only have a few hours because the knockup stream is going to happen tomorrow. It only happens like once every, I forget how like once every couple months or something like that. Is like when the knockup stream happens. So they have to go to like the next day because if they don't, they're gonna miss their chance. And also the log post is gonna reset. I mean, not the. Oh yeah, I guess the log post is gonna reset to a different island if they stay on Jaya for too long. So so they need to leave. Like time is of the essence. They need to like get a move on. Kind of like me. I have like 40 minutes before I have to leave. Hopefully, I have enough time to upload this. Um, so yeah, so they decide to. It's just the middle of the night, and they go into the jungle to find the bird. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention. I actually mentioned this last video, but I used to own this volume in Japanese, so I looked through it a lot. I couldn't read it because I don't read Japanese. I mean, I understand a little bit of katakana and hiragana, and maybe like one or two kanji, but for the most part, I can't read Japanese. I don't understand the language. I love the language. I think it's a beautiful language, but I just don't understand it. So I would just look through it and look at the drawings pretty much. I mean, I had read it before. I had read it online before, um, but I did own this volume in Japanese, so I did look through it a lot. So it was kind of fun to reread it. Kind of like I think it was volume 22 also, where that was the case. Um, so yeah, so they go through the jungle, and they divide up into three teams, and they look for the bird. They're trying to find the bird. Oh yeah, and apparently Usopp likes. I'll try to show you guys more of the actual drawings of like more pages because I'm kind of just talking. But we get the scene where Usopp. It's revealed that Usopp isn't afraid of spiders. It's kind of funny because he's kind of cowardly in like every other way, but he doesn't mind like big spiders. Um, so yeah, so they pretty much just run into a bunch of insects, like giant insects and animals. Um, and so they're just like running away from all these insects and animals, like each team that got divided up. Uh, and then they find the bird. That's the bird right there. And then Bellamy shows up. Bellamy shows up to Cricket's house. Um, so yeah, so they're still running away from all the insects. And then Bellamy and Sarkis, his like first mate or whatever, they're just beating the shit out of Cricket and Masira and Shoujo, um, and they're like taking their gold. Um, so yeah, so while the Straw Hats are away, which is convenient that Bellamy arrived while the Straw Hats were gone. But then Jojo, not Jojo, I don't know why I said Jojo. Well, the bird keeps saying Joe. Like that's like the sound the bird makes. Um, but Robin sees the bird and then captures it like immediately with her powers. She just sprouts arms off of the like on the bird and just grabs it. Um, and then let's see, I put a post-it note here. Oh yeah, I guess because the Mary keeps getting damaged. Like they literally broke off a whole part of it, like right here. You can see that it's kind of small, but my camera's kind of blurry. But the Mary is literally falling apart in pieces. Um, and then yeah, like Cricket and Masira and Shoujo are all bloody and fucked up. And then they see that the gold is gone, the ingots. I don't even know if that's how you pronounce that word. I guess it is. That's how it's spelled. And then Luffy's like, okay, we only have like 3 hours before we have to leave, but in that time, I'm gonna get the gold back. I'm gonna get it back for Cricket. So he says, I'll be back. I'll be back by sunrise. That's a pretty cool panel of Luffy right there. And what happens right before is pretty cool too. How Mont Blanc Cricket is trying to stop Luffy, and then Zoro hands him his sword and says, "If you want to stop him, you'll have to use this." He's literally like handing the sword to him, like, "Put your money where your mouth is if you want to stop him." Oh yeah, and here we get the reveal that we already knew, but the characters just find out that Luffy actually has a bounty of 100 million berries, and Zoro has the 60 million berries. Um, so yeah, so that's. I actually was thinking. I kind of wish that they didn't know. Like throughout the rest of this chapter and this volume, well, maybe not the entire volume, but throughout the rest of these couple chapters where uh, Luffy goes to fight Bellamy and to get the gold back. Um, I kind of wish Bellamy didn't know that he had 100 million berries. I kind of wish that he still thought that he had 30 because Luffy doesn't know. Um, but Bellamy finds out. He finds out like right before Luffy shows up to like kick his ass. He finds out uh, that he's 100 million berries. So with that, since he knows that now, I mean, he doesn't believe that Luffy is stronger than him, but he should. He definitely should because he finds out his bounty, and his bounty is like almost twice as much as his. So he should know at this point that Luffy's gonna kick his ass. He kind of wished that he still thought that he was just a 30 million berry bounty, because then he'd probably be even more confident. I mean, he's still pretty confident. But yeah, this is an epic fight right here, Bellamy versus Luffy. He does the spring hopper. This is all pretty memorable right here. It's a short fight. It's a really short fight. Um, and then we get the epic, memorable moment right here when Luffy just one-shots Bellamy. Uh, this is actually the first of set 2 times that he does this in the story. He does it again during Dressrosa. Uh, but yeah, but this is pretty memorable right here, and it's pretty badass how Luffy just owns him in one shot. And there's like an imprint of his fist on the side of Bellamy's head. So yeah, so Luffy gets the gold. This is pretty memorable too. I always thought this panel was pretty memorable when he points to the sky and he says, "They're like, oh, where are you going?" And he's like, "The sky." That's also a pretty memorable moment right there. Um, yeah, then we cut to Buggy, who's apparently digging for a treasure on a random island on the Grand Line. Um, but they don't find it. And then, Oh yeah, because Buggy's motivation at first was always to like get his revenge on Luffy for like beating him up at the beginning of the story. But I guess after Impel Down, I really need to reread everything like I'm doing to like see exactly what happens. But I guess after Impel Down, once they team up, I guess his ambition kind of changes. We haven't seen Buggy in a long time in the manga, um, but at first it seemed like he was like chasing after Luffy in order to get his revenge on him. And they even say here, um, like Alvida's like, oh, you don't know where Luffy is. How do you intend to catch him? Uh, and then Ace is actually there. Ace is on their ship, which they don't really show how Ace got there. I guess he just got there on his boat thing, his like surfboard boat. Um, uh, so yeah, and Buggy actually doesn't know Ace at this point. Um, but yeah, but he mentions that he met Blackbeard. I mean, not Blackbeard, Whitebeard. Um, and he also mentions that uh, he says something like, "Oh, the bigger Luffy's bounty gets, the better, because that means when I finally beat him, then my bounty is gonna skyrocket." Um, but then Buggy says, "Yeah, a long time ago I met Whitebeard on the Grand Line." Um, so yeah, so we check in on Buggy. That's pretty cool. I wish we would check in on Buggy more often. I'm a big fan of Buggy. And then we cut to Marijois, where we get the first appearance of the Gorosei. Um, so yeah, whenever the Gorosei show up, you know we're gonna get some like big revelations and some important like information. And then we get the first appearance of Doflamingo and Kuma, because they're trying to figure out who's going to replace Crocodile as the seven as one of the seven warlords of the sea. Um, so yeah, so they're having like a meeting with all the warlords, but a lot of them don't show up. Only a few of them show up. Oh yeah, and then we get the first meeting, the first appearance of Tsuru right here. Um, and then we get a glimpse of Doflamingo's powers, where he can like make people like act against their will. Um, yeah, I remember reading this way back in the day and being like, "Damn, like what are his powers?" I always thought he was just like psychic or whatever, like telekinetic or telepathic or something. Like he could control your mind, but apparently it's just the string fruit. Like he just has strings that like lock onto your body. Um, but yeah, but he's making two Marines fight, and then we get the first appearance. Here we get a lot of cool characters at this point in the volume. We get the first appearance of Sengoku, who at this point is the fleet admiral of the Marines, um, supreme commander of the Navy. Then Mihawk shows up. Oh yeah, and here we get a foreshadow of they're foreshadowing Dressrosa a little bit, because Sengoku says, "Oh, shall we begin? I doubt anyone else will show up. 2 out of 6 is more than expected." Talking about the warlords, and then Doflamingo says, "No kidding, I wasn't going to come. Business is booming on the island, but I was bored, so here I am." So he's talking about Dressrosa, which is kind of awesome. And then Mihawk shows up. And then Lafitte shows up. This is the first time we see Lafitte. And he just shows up to propose that they replace Crocodile with Blackbeard. Um, then we cut to the Whitebeard ship, and Rockstar, who is a member of the Red Hair Pirates, shows up. I always like Rockstar's design with the spiky hair. Um, he shows up and he's there to give a message to Whitebeard. And here we get the first appearance of Whitebeard. A lot of first appearances of major characters in this volume. That's pretty cool. A double page spread of Whitebeard. And it says the strongest man in the world in his Oda box. So I don't know. Is he stronger than Kaido at this point? I mean, I guess at this point he wasn't, because he's old and like sick. But in his prime, I guess he was stronger than Kaido. Because they say Kaido is the strongest like beast in the world or whatever, the strongest like creature in the world. And then we check in on Shanks. We get to see Shanks, which is pretty awesome. We don't see Shanks very often, but he since Whitebeard didn't read his message, like his letter, because Whitebeard said, "Oh, Shanks should just come himself if he has something to tell me." And then Rockstar calls Shanks and says, "Yeah, he ripped up your letter. Like he doesn't want to listen. Like you gotta come yourself." And then Shanks is like, "Okay, well, I guess I gotta go talk to him then." So then Shanks sets sail to go meet Whitebeard. And then let's see here. Oh yeah, and then we cut back to Mocktown and the Blackbeard Pirates, and we get a cool double page spread of the Blackbeard Pirates minus Lafitte. So this is cool. You get to see them all together. And it turns out in the Viz translation, I called the sniper Van Auger, which is what I always thought his name was. But here it says his name is Van Ogre. So yeah, so I guess that's how you pronounce his name. Oh yeah, so then Luffy gets back to Cricket's house with all the other Straw Hats. And he brings a Hercules beetle with him, because apparently he has a fascination with beetles. Then we get to see the new and improved Mary with wings and looks like a chicken. So yeah. So then they get ready to leave. They get ready to set sail. This is a pretty cool moment when Cricket says, "Yeah, it doesn't matter if they don't believe in like the City of Gold or if they don't believe in the Sky Island. That's what makes it a great adventure." That's a pretty cool moment right there. But yeah, and then the Blackbeard Pirates set sail. They want to like intercept the Straw Hats because Luffy has $100 million bounty. So they want to like, I guess, kill him. I don't know. They want to like claim his bounty, I guess. Maybe not claim his bounty because they're pirates too. But I guess they want to gain more notoriety by beating Luffy. So yeah, so the Straw Hats set sail. They come across the Emperor Cloud, and there's a big whirlpool that happens. Yeah, a big whirlpool, and that's where the knock-up stream is going to happen. So they're sailing right to it, and yeah. So then like Luffy's super happy about it. Like everybody else is freaking out, and Luffy's like super happy. Yeah, and then the Blackbeard pirates show up, and they're like, "Yeah, we're here to take that 100 million berry head of yours. Give up." And then the knockup stream shoots into the air, and apparently it looks like it destroys the ship of the Blackbeard pirates as it like erupts into the sky. So I forget what happens with the Blackbeard pirates after that. I mean, I know it doesn't like kill them or anything, obviously. But I wonder what happens after that. I forget the next time we see Blackbeard after that. But yeah, but the Straw Hats, they start sailing up the knockup stream. Uh, and then yeah, and then they start flying up, and that's it. They're on their way to Sky Island, and that's the end of volume 25. So yeah, so that was fun as always. I'm gonna try and upload this as fast as possible. I might not have time because I have to leave in like 20 minutes. So I have to save this video on my computer, and that usually takes a few minutes. So I might not have time to upload this before I go to work. But if anything, I'll just upload it when I get back tonight, um, and then I'll do the reaction to the new chapter because I think that's gonna drop later today. It should at least. Um, so yeah, so I guess I'll do two videos at once. Doesn't really make a difference for my channel at this point. Um, so I guess I'll just post two videos like back to back later tonight. Uh, so anyway, if you indeed watched me talk about One Piece for over half an hour, thank you very much. And I will see you in the near future. Have a good one.